going. Oh, that is not the right screen. Where'd my PowerPoint go? There it is.
Okay, you're a Zoom host. You know how to do this.
Apparently not. Can everyone see the PowerPoint?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Brian. Thanks, everybody. Hello, welcome, visitors, and then obviously members who are here week in, week out. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about what I do and about how ADP can help businesses for both yourself and your friends. Just a little bit about me before we get started. I am originally from the Montgomery County area. I grew up there, born and raised. Over the last 20 or so years in the area, took a brief break to head up to Syracuse, New York, get my degree in sport management. I really wanted to be involved in sports growing up, something I love a lot. Worked a little bit for the Washington Capitals, did some sponsorship works for a live events company called Beaver before finding my way to ADP. There's my family up there in the top middle, my mom, my dad, and my sister. On the right is my wonderful girlfriend, Samantha. And in the middle there is a picture of some of my teammates over at ADP. And down there, bottom left, are some of my friends from Cap Crew, which was a lot of fun to do if you saw me ever running around on the Jumbotron back in the day. Also, just like to kick off these presentations by saying thank you. So many of you have trusted ADP with your own businesses. I'm not necessarily going to go through and name all the individuals, but the best part I love is every time I do this presentation, I've got to make everyone's logos a little bit smaller because more of you guys have trusted ADP to handle your payroll and HR services. And I got to find a way to fit more of you in there. Sorry if I missed you. Tried to double check the roster this morning, but thank you everyone for your support always, and we appreciate having you guys on board as clients.
Nice.
I always like to do this little exercise here, the number play. Obviously, I believe we got the chat turned off, so you don't have to respond, but just think to yourself for a minute what these numbers might mean. Million plus, 92%, 8,000, and then 1. Obviously, kind of some random numbers, but like to take it as a thought exercise. What do you think these numbers mean? So take a second, think about it. Hopefully, you got some answers. 1 million, we actually do payroll for over 1 million business clients in the United States. We pay 1 in 6 Americans. We're the largest payroll company in the U.S. We've been doing it for the longest, so you can trust that you're in experienced hands. 92% is our satisfaction rating over our competitors. I'd say we're easier to use. We get really high ratings on all the big surveys and competitions. ADP actually does more in research and development, improving their products, than the next 8 closest competitors of ours combined do in revenue, which is pretty cool. We do the $8,000 is how much we can save a business owner in other HR services and fees on average that they would need to handle all of our products. And then 1 is the smallest business client I work with. A lot of people will see ADP as in the small business space and think, hey, I'm way too big. I'm way too small for ADP. No one's too small. I work with 1 employee S corps all the time, and those are really great clients that we're able to help out with any need. My average client size is 6, so very small. And then, some of you are probably thinking, what really is ADP? Obviously, the way I like to explain it to people is, unfortunately, if you get a paycheck and you see some of those taxes have already been taken out, that was us. But we really just help with, that quarterly and yearly business payroll tax filing and, helping pay your people. So there are a lot of companies that do that automated money movement, ADP obviously being the biggest one, but where we really see value as opposed to what our other, competitors are doing is that extra HR service and support. We can help business owners with things like background checks. We can help them with creating HR, regulations, things for their office, giving them specific paperwork, put them in touch with HR professionals. We give them a mobile app. We can integrate with all their benefits. We can do timekeeping, and we're able to support them at a level that no one else is really able to, with 24/7 customer service and the ability to run payroll in pretty much, I think it's 150 different countries, in addition to obviously every U.S. state. These are some services that we offer. So if you see that in our HR, I really think that these are kind of good. I don't need to go through all of them, but basically, we do a lot of HR services. for our clients. HR 411 is really what we call it. And then obviously that tax filing. So we're able to help people make sure they're paying taxes correctly and on time. No one wants to be charged too much in taxes, and no one wants to get a note from the IRS saying they owe taxes. Those are always my saddest ones. When people come to me because they've received a notice because their current provider has screwed up. The big thing we always like to say in our industry is, it's better to fix a roof when it's sunny outside rather than when it's raining. So I'm always happy to take a look and see and make sure that you're handling those right before you get a nasty note from the IRS or from the state of Maryland or Department of Labor, because they are not fun to deal with. And then big golden goose referral partners for me are accountants and bookkeepers. I've got the privilege of Sam Reen and John, taking the opportunity to work with me and taking advantage of our tools. A lot of you might be listening to me talk about all these taxes every week and say, I don't really handle this. My accountant does this for me. And that's very normal. So we work with accountants and CPAs. They probably use a payroll processor. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's QuickBooks. Maybe it's Paychecks. But I'd love to talk to them. And these are some ways that we can help them out. That being said, these are the 3 types of conversations I would love to have if you know anyone that needs my services. Education are big ones. I'm really happy to meet with new business owners that are setting up a business for the first time and need to learn how to run payroll or what that means. Even if it's never too early. A lot of people pick a payroll provider with 5 or 6 weeks into setting up their business very quick. So don't ever worry about introducing me too early. If the client wants to put it off, it's fine with me. Analysis, also a big one. When I run a buying meeting for one of my prospects, it's pretty much a complimentary checkup. You go to the doctor once a year to get a physical. You should be doing the same for your business. Everyone, especially at this time of year, is evaluating its budget season. So pretty much just a free opportunity for me to go through and make sure that they've got everything they need. And then people with influence. Love to meet with bankers, CPAs, brokers, anyone that has any influence over a large amount of businesses, where if they told them, hey, we want you to use this payroll provider, I'm always looking to build those relationships, because I get 95% of my business through referrals, whether it be through BNI or accountants or bookkeepers or elsewhere. Then this says why December is such a busy time for ADP, but I think it applies to all of Q4. You have new businesses that are S Corps that may have to set up a reasonable salary for the first time. If you have an individual that has a business that just needs to pay themselves for tax purposes, they're usually doing it at the end of the year. We also just finished up extension season for businesses that end on 9/15. Existing businesses, already talked about it. 65% of business owners are evaluating their back office, and making this transition at the start of a new year is the easiest time for them to do it. So if you're not part of that 65%, you're missing the boat. Happy to help make sure that you're evaluating. And then this is a really nice gap for accountants, bookkeepers after the October 15th deadline, where they're going to need, where they're not really going to be starting with tax season yet. Although I'm sure Sam Reen will tell you she's always working on it. But there is a little bit of a break before the start of the new year, where it's a really good opportunity for people to, enter payroll, start fresh, make this a priority for their firms, or, they're trying to get out and retire. So I love to talk with accountants, bookkeepers, financial planners, because everything kind of resets at the beginning of a calendar year.
One
Good
minute.
referrals. Thank you. Good referrals for me, accountants, bookkeepers, business consultants. HVAC and restaurants are really good referrals for us. We have a lot of ways we can help them save money and give them a lot of support in ways that they don't really see from other payroll providers. Those are my favorite. Same with doctors' offices. And then property managers, if they run with a lot of apartment buildings, they usually all have their own EIN number and own business. So we can give them a special software that allows them to manage all their businesses under one group. Lastly, objections. ADP is too expensive. Happy to work with you on price. ADP is not for small businesses. I'm always working with small businesses. We have a special software just for them. Don't want to rock the boat. Always just here to check it out. And then the switch is really easy. We can do it in one pay cycle. So less than 2 weeks, or a week, even if you're weekly. But yeah, that's all from me. Happy to stay around after, answer some questions. And as always, thank you guys for letting me speak to you today about taxes, which I know everyone loves to talk about.
Fantastic. Will be available if somebody wants to chat with you after the group in a breakout?
Yeah, of course.
All right, awesome.